We have Maya Parpo, presidential candidate, pro-Bitcoin presidential candidate for Suriname, also CEO of Daedalus Labs. Maya, this is a kind of a legendary sort of situation. We know Jack was sort of instrumental in helping bring Bitcoin to El Salvador, and that led to Bukele adopting it as legal tender. This is part of a platform you're running on, adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. Why would Bitcoin help Suriname?
Well, I believe that, with the amount of inflation that we have and that we've had ever since we gained our independence in 1975, I believe that Bitcoin is the solution to that problem and the problem of systemic corruption ever since we gained our independence as well. Because it offers a way to create an amount of transparency that you don't have with the SRD right now. There's a lot of opaqueness. Yep. And there's a lot of room for corruption. Whereas if you have a government spending completely on the blockchain, on the Bitcoin blockchain, you can build a system where you can actually track all spending and see where everything's going, and everybody can kind of monitor it live. So that's what we're going for. And actually making government a lot more efficient. Yep. Because right now it's a very inefficient government. Half of our working population works for government, so there's a lot that you can solve by just making Bitcoin not just legal tender but the unit of account.
And there you have it. Suriname President Maya Parbo is sitting there telling you that they're adopting Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is going to be the new standard of legal tender. Adoption continues to happen. With that, what's happening, Crypto Crew? Sean's coming back at you, another cryptocurrency video. Once again, got a jam-packed video. Before we get started, check us out on our link tree. You can check this link out right here on our Twitter handle. But also, we have everything Bitcoin Bros on here. Go to our website, bitcoinbros101.com. We got ebooks for you. We got crash courses for you. The learning doesn't stop. First update, Fear and Greed Index is now 39. The markets are fearful. Not extreme fear, but fearful. When there's fear, buy it. CBBI, confidence we're at the peak, is at 62 as of October 10th. If we take a look at this chart, this is definitely a chart you got to pay attention to. The CBBI got overbought back when we had that $73,000 peak. That should have been a sign. But right now we've had this cool off, and the confidence went all the way down to 55. And the trends your friends is still in like some type of bull flag pattern as well. Last cycle, we did get a cool off period, but we didn't get the extreme red how we did here. So, people say this was the peak. This could be the actual all-time high that was broken right here, but it looks like Bitcoin could be coining up to make a move to the upside because we don't believe that this move is over. Looking at the Elliott wave, you got wave 1, wave 2. This could be your third wave, fourth wave pullback, and then that fifth leg is going to be that blow off top. Next update, the Bitcoin bull market cycle to begin based on historic averages. So if you look at this chart, every single bull cycle, how long does it take for Bitcoin before we get to that parabolic rally, which is right here and right here? 170 days after the halving. Well, 170 days after halving was October 6th. So the bull market could be getting ready to start this month. And right now we're getting a little bit of cool off in Bitcoin's price. And every time we see a bounce off this moving average, what do we see? It's massive price appreciation, another bounce, massive price appreciation, bounce to the upside. Pay attention to what's in store. Stock Money Lizard was weighing in as well. He's looking at this bull flag and saying every time that these red dots show, we have some cool off, red dot, cool off, red dot, cool off, red dot, cool off. So we'll get a cool off before we get that bump and run to the upside. Year-end target, $100,000. And if you're into the altcoin market, don't worry. Alts pumped a few weeks ago, but now have been bleeding against Bitcoin. Still in this downtrend that we broke out of. That was that pump I was telling you about. And then we came back and had to retest it. And every indicator, the RSI, the stochastic RSI, is showing a bullish reversal that could be coming sooner rather than later. Looking at the rational root, if you look at this chart, you see that every single cycle, none of these lines ever converge, meaning they never cross. But one thing to note, every single cycle, when we're in this fourth quarter, going into the new year, note one thing. Look at the previous cycle. We were in the same place, same time frame. We started to go parabolic into the new year. If we come straight down to the next cycle, we start to go parabolic into the new year. This line right here is the new year, and even all the way back into the 2012 cycle, parabolicness into the new year. So if history is any indication, we could be seeing Bitcoin start to ramp up. Once it crosses this line here, this gray line, that's that $100,000 threshold. And you see going to next year, the $100,000 threshold, remember these lines have never converged. Not meaning they can't, but that would be something that this chart never did. The all-time highs would be right around this area as well. So we have a lot of bullishness that's coming along the way. We hope that you're prepared. And will 60K hold? This is from Tempo Cap. Shout out to him. To be honest, no idea, but he thinks there'll be a bounce at 57 to 59K after absolutely nailing most of Bitcoin's month over the last 12 months. He feels there'll be some chop before we blast off. And that chop is right here, what he's showing in the charts. And right now, this green box, if you look at this rounding cup pattern, you see that Bitcoin has been respecting this. And is this what's going to continue to happen going into November? Blasting out of this cup pattern, coming back down for a retest before a blast off into the new year? That would coincide with what we just showed you with this rational root chart as well. Total crypto market capitalization at the current time of this recording is coming in at $2.074 trillion. And right now, what do we see? What do we anticipate? Looking at the RSI, this is on the 3-day. We've seen the bottom out here, and we've seen the divergence here. And look what happens. We came down and tested this bottom, established it way back in June of 22, ran up, came back and retested it, ran up, came back down and retested it multiple times. This could be a triple bottom pattern, and getting ready to stair-step its way up out the depths is what could be in the cards. And looking at the stochastic RSI, note the blue line. The blue line is starting to coil back up to the upside. And if we just draw a trend line, the trend's your friend to the end, we could see something like this. We could see this being a bottom, a lower high, a higher high, a lower high, and then keep coming back up to blast off while the RSI is in confluence and the price action as well. The price action is also putting in higher lows and higher highs as well in this pattern right here. You could be looking at this as some type of right triangle that we're just trading in and getting ready to break out of this and have a bounce back before a bounce back up. These two lines would converge around early November. So are we going to see that blast up going into the elections? Time will tell. Bitcoin at the current time of this recordings at that $60,000 threshold, 60.7K. And all of this looks very similar. Everything doesn't exactly repeat, but rhymes. See a low, a high, a lower low, a higher low. The blue line's getting ready to look like it curls back up to come back up to the upside. Look at this trend line. The trend's your friend until the end. And we broke out of this trend, and look what's happened. We came back down and retested this perfectly, double bottomed, and then this is the divergence right here, putting in a higher low, and we could be getting ready to stair step our way out of this pattern as well. And zooming into the price action on Bitcoin, we see that we are sitting right above all the moving averages as well. Definitely bullish territory, bullish charts, and bullishness. MicroStrategy, something to pay attention to. Look at the NAV premium. MicroStrategy's been melting faces, 2.5x. So that means every dollar Bitcoin moves up, MicroStrategy's going up 2.5x. Have you guys made this MicroStrategy play? Look at the MicroStrategy price chart. You see that it is almost at new all-time highs. And you see same thing, same song and dance, rinse and repeat. We get this breakout of this downtrend. Note that we have this macro support level that it's been respecting, and we had a bounce, a fake out hit our head, like we were coming back down, came back above it, and now we're breaking up. The stochastic RSI is in overbought territory, so what could MicroStrategy be doing? Could this be this 1, 2, 3, this fifth leg that we're looking for? We zoom into this price action. You know, the third leg, something to pay attention to is how long will this continue to blast up? Will this blast up to like 200 plus over the next few days? Time will tell. We've retested that trend line. If we come back down and make a lower high, that would take us back down to the 130 range. The Bitcoin bros don't see this right now, but it's not out the realm of possibility. You cannot cancel it out. But the RSI is showing that this is on a uptrend. So we could get a breakout, retest, and blast off. And with that, I'm Sean with the Bitcoin Bros. You guys like this content, go ahead and smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and show us some love. We appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm out.